All right, all right. All right.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen. Abba Noah, Shabbat Shemaya, Kodash Haya Shemcha Ahayah, Malakwaka Taba'a, Ratazawanka Haya Aisha, Ba'arataza Kawa, Haya Bashemaya, the thunder Noah, Lekam Kau Yawam, Wasalak Noah, Kawat Waf Noah, Hasalak Noah, Kawat Waf Yanawa Wala'a, Abayak Noah, Hanasaya Wan Abal, Awashai Noah, Man Rai Kayalaka, Hamalakwa Waha Allah, Ahathapa Arak, La Iwalamyam, Aman. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen. 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 Amen.
Shalom, brothers and sisters. I'm Elder Ricard Shiara, along with Elder Lawyer, for our weekly Sabbath lesson. First and foremost, we would like to say all praises, all praises be to the Most High. AHAYAH Bahashem Yeshaya Wa Rewak. We pray that the Most High is keeping you, your family, your parents, your children in this time of serious trouble. When I say serious trouble, the enemy has conspired against the children of God because why? They can no longer control the narrative, and they can no longer stop the rising of Jacob. Our lesson today will be an important lesson. Make sure you have your pen and pads together. All right. And it will really segue into our lesson tomorrow in the academy. But it's a lesson that we all need to take heed to. Okay. As you can see, the title of the lesson: Vanity Traps Set by the Enemy. That's the title. Vanity Traps Set by the Enemy. Now, the reason why I went into this lesson and began to put it together, it was in my mind all night last night, actually, into the morning, is because usually we look at the end result without examining how we got here. We see what the enemy is doing with this campaign against our people. It's clear. But never realize our participations in streamlining the enemy's, that's right, agendas that are destroying us. We don't understand how what we do makes us complicit with their, that's right, eugenics, destruction, and total annihilation when it comes to our people and our image. And I wanted to put that out there. And so I wanted to go into vanity because vanity is speaking to such, to exactly that. That the Most High warned us of this particular spirit. And it's the spirit that the enemy would lay as a trap under us. So that when the time comes where the Most High is communicating with his people, we would be actually, believe it or not, shielded from his protection under the spirit of vanity. And vanity would have us make the wrong choices at the most inopportune times. And here we go. Now, before I go into the lesson, I want to put out some thank yous, okay? I really want to thank you, brothers and sisters, who continually support the work, be it in the academy or through your donations, or even if you don't have that, through your prayers. And, and that cannot go out. There's no way you understand that this work can go out throughout the four corners of the earth and help others receive what you're receiving now without your support. So I would like to first and foremost say thank you, because you don't understand how much work you're doing in helping us get to others. Okay? Sometimes we all are here, no matter how much we're doing in this earth, understanding the times, feel that, okay, there's more that I can do as an individual. There's always more to do, right? But some of us don't even realize how much we do already. Like, you can't do what we're doing right now, right? But you can progress what we're doing. And I thank the Most High for it, because that's work in of itself. Okay? Without any resources, there's no way we can plan to get to the people who need this information at this time. It's totally impossible. We have the time to study. We have the time to link in with the Most High and pray and get the revelation, get the understanding. You understand? And we understand a lot of you don't have that time. So we're doing this for you. And in turn, you're doing something for us to get the message out. All right. So I wanted to say, all you continually who support the work, that's a work within itself. The Bible, even Christ says that those that have actually housed the prophet will actually receive the reward of a prophet. So I just wanted to put that out there to say thank you before we even go into it, to let you know that we are grateful for all you have done with this church, for this church. And as long as the Most High gives us breath, we'll be here. We'll be here to streamline the truth and to help our people navigate through Jacob's trouble. Okay? So I wanted to put that out there first and foremost. A humble thank you. Okay. Now the next thing is, if you may, just to drive the traffic here, please hit the like button. Okay, hit the like button. This way, it'll drive the traffic, the algorithms, because of course, YouTube is not going to let everyone know outright that we're broadcasting. Okay, so by hitting the like or dislike button, it actually drives, attention to the channel, where to the degree where they'll have to tell others we exist here. All right. All right. So make sure you all hit that button, please. You're doing a great job, and let's jump right in. You're doing a great job. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, picking up from where we left off at. Okay. Let me make sure there's no interruptions here because I'm going in. Okay. Picking up from where we left off at Wednesday, there was a quote. Now, and I'm ordering this book so that we can have this book on record. I'm ordering this book so we can have this book on record to show you what's in the book, because obviously if they drop this particular quote in the book and it's only a small quote, there's a lot we would need to understand concerning the plans that are now unfolding right before our eyes. Back then, when this was all being speculated upon, right? It was deemed, if you believe this, if I would have said that this was going to happen, they would have claimed that it was a conspiracy theory. When the quote was made by Jacques Attali in a book called Bilderberger, dated back to 1981. Now, if we would have started telling people this way back then, I mean, in the 80s, early 80s, I mean, year 2000, 2020, who would care about what would happen by the time, you understand? We thought that, that things will probably be over by then. It's way beyond our immediate scope. 1981. I mean, that was before Michael Jackson. That's before Michael Jackson Thriller. To show you how patient these Satanists are. Right? Where this was in the book in 1981. Now check out this book. Here from a 1981 book by Bilderberger, Jacques Attali is an example of the elite's mindset. The future will be about finding a way to reduce the population. Of course, we will not be able to execute people or build camps. Right? We get rid of them by making them believe it is for their own good. We will find or cause something, a pandemic targeting certain people, a real economic crisis or not, a virus affecting the old or the elderly. It doesn't matter. The weak and the fearful will succumb to it. The stupid will believe in it and ask to be treated. We will have taken care of having the treatment, a treatment that will be the solution. The selection of idiots will therefore be done by itself. They will go to the slaughterhouse alone. So when it says selection, that's highlighting what? A calculated group. Now I'm going to let you come to the conclusion on who they're talking about. The selection of idiots will therefore be done by itself. They will go to the slaughterhouse alone. So they're outright saying, some of what we were mentioning, that, listen, it's not going to be a deal where they're going to have to force anything. They're banking on whom they deem are the idiots. Right? Because if you can get enough of them, they'll convince the others. Right? Now, let me make it clear. I don't think that when it comes to the demographic they're targeting, I don't think that our people are all idiots like they do. I believe that it's what the Most High God said, that my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Well, they deem that idiocy. So it's our position, being watchmen, to give you the knowledge to make the right decisions. Now, after today, you won't even hear me really mentioning anything about the campaign, the jabs and all that. It's already out there. Our plans are progressing going forward to protect those who trust in the Most High, and to make sure those whom the powers that be deem idiots don't infect or affect those who made a choice to choose what? Faith over fear. It's our position as shepherds to protect those who made a decision to stand with God. That's it. Right? So I'm putting that out there right now. I don't got to mention it. It's already on record. Right? It's on record. Our stance has been made. Even one of our channels was stricken because we mentioned it. Right? So the whole thing is we've put it out there, and guess what? I know some people are going to think, well, guess what? I'll tell you what. They're church people, so I'm going to make a decision and they'll be able to accept my decision later. I know you're thinking that. You don't understand the choices you're making and the long-term, consequences of that choice. Because we're not going to be compromised by individuals who would make choices through fear. Okay? It's not going to happen. This is a faith movement. This is Christ's movement. And like it was, and guess what? I believe that the Jehovah's Witnesses, to some degree, even though they didn't understand it altogether, they understood that something was coming medically, but they weren't on, they didn't have a beat on what it was. Years ago, a matter of fact, Jehovah's Witnesses still may have it, where it's against their religious rules for members of their church to get blood transfusions. Now that's something medical that they're making a religious decision on. And you didn't hear anyone out there, media or otherwise, deeming them as a cult or crazy for making a medical decision on what not to do, due to their religion. They were able to say straight out, no blood transfusions, no blood touching blood. That is against God. And guess what? Their religious stance was protected through government. People even died not taking blood transfusions, believing that it was against God, because Jehovah's Witnesses took a hard stance on what? Something medical. See? So I think there was something going on there where they realized something medical was coming, but they latched on to the wrong thing. Here's the time now that they probably, that the wheels were turning for them back then. This is that time now to stand on something. See? And I want y'all to put that out there because, Christians for a long time been trying to figure out how they're going to bring forth this beast system. And at one time, Jehovah's Witnesses had medical blood transfusions and all that. They were on to something that the medical field will somehow impose on our religious rights. But they didn't know exactly what to actually deny. Okay? Here we are. And that's all I'm going to say on that. Now, and this is a great lesson we're about to go into. Your Elder Dell. So that there's no issues if someone come into our Sabbath trolling or disrespecting. Okay? We need you to immediately yank them out of here. There will be no discourse or disagreements or going back and forth in the chat today. We'll give you the autonomy to chat, but if anything is diverted outside of the topic to try to provoke issues within our brothers and sisters on this Sabbath concerning this communication, guess what? Immediately, don't even time them out. Okay? Don't even time them out. We block you. You'll be blocked. So I need you to go to their page. If they go off and try to cause any issues on the Most High Sabbath, go to their page, block them, then delete their comment. That's the way we're doing it now. Okay? Now I'm going to put it out there because I don't believe that to date, even though all these lessons are timely, this lesson is right on time and I don't want any interruption. I don't want any interruption or any Satanists coming in here causing issues. All right? That's how we doing it today. How do we get here? Trapped. Traps set by the enemy. Now, Elder Lawyer, last year, when all of this stuff started coming out, right?
Yes, sir.
We went into a lesson to show people prophetically where we are in the earth. Prophetically. When it comes to time, and time is predicated through prophecy. Where the Most High said, well, listen, a stupor in 3rd Baruch, right? 2nd Baruch, a stupor shall take the earth, which would be a sign from heaven concerning the earth where our people need to begin to get themselves together to make the right choice. Why? The Satanists are playing for keeps now. They're playing for keeps. Your choice isn't just going to affect you. Your choice may literally mean that day or a few days later, life or death. So that was a sign in 2nd Baruch where the Most High says, this is what you need to look for. A stupor shall take the earth. I need you to read that real quick for me, Elder Lawyer.
Yes, sir. This is 2nd Baruch chapter 25, verse 1. And he answered and said unto me, thou too shalt be preserved till that time, till that sign which the Most High will work for the inhabitants of the earth in the end of days. This therefore shall be the sign.
Here's the sign. Now listen.
When a stupor shall seize the inhabitants of the earth.
When a stupor shall seize the inhabitants of the earth. Now, a sign is for those who are watching, who are in tune with the Most High, who is seeking guidance on what to do from the Most High. See? Jacob, God's people, seeketh a sign. So the Most High, because a lot of people are saying, well, how do I know God is real? When do I know to begin to get myself together? Right? The Most High say, you know what I'll do? I'll send you a sign to know that it's time to take this serious. Here's a sign that will lead up to the time that my son comes in this earth to save you. What is that sign? Let's read it again.
When a stupor shall seize the inhabitants of the earth.
When a stupor shall seize the inhabitants of the earth.
And they shall fall into many tribulations.
And the earth shall fall into many tribulations.
And again, when they shall fall into great torments.
And the people will fall into great torments. So we have to figure out, what is this stupor that will take the earth? I need you all to look at your screen here. Look at your screen. What is the stupor that will take the earth? It says here.
Stupor.
Stupor. What?
Stupor.
Stupor shall take the earth, which is a sign sent by our God. It says here, a state of near unconsciousness or insensibility, where the people are unconscious and their sensibilities are thrown all over the place. Right? And that's a drunken stupor. The people aren't sober-minded. They're not in their right, sober state. They're delusional. How did we get here? How did we get here? So this sign would be when the majority of people you run into are delusional. They're in a state of unconsciousness to a degree where Satan can roll out anything and they'll believe it. That's number one. So for those who are watching, who are of the elect, whose eyes are open, we realize how dangerous these people are who make certain choices on earth. That's a sign to us concerning who to avoid. They're dangerous. See? So the sign is the majority of people will be walking around delusional with no care, no understanding. Now we're going to go into it in a moment, folks, of how people become so delusional. You know what it is? Vanity. Vanity is traps set by the enemy that put the whole world into a stupor. Now there's more. Let's go into stupor, because believe it or not, a lot of you don't know that stupor is a medical term. Stupor is also a medical term, right? It's a medical term. So let's go here also, right? And let's read it. Stupor means, in medical terms, stupor is unresponsiveness from which a person can be aroused only by vigorous physical stimulation. Coma is unresponsiveness from which a person cannot be aroused or in which the person's eyes remain closed when the person is stimulated. See? Now, medical conditions that interfere with brain functioning. which is poisoning, brain tumors, brain infections. Severe vitamin deficiencies can induce a stupor. So the people are walking around comatose. Severe mental illness. That was a sign when they start talking about mental illness and prescribing mental drugs to people. That was a sign. Severe mental illness can also cause stupor-like states. People with severe clinical depression, schizophrenia, may enter into a stupor. Now, what would make people depressed go into a stupor to the degree in which they would need psych meds? Well, it's because they're not living up to what? The vanity that they think is the norm. They have set unrealistic expectations and have been programmed into believing that they should have a life that really doesn't exist. And when they fail in achieving that life, become depressed. So the Most High says, okay, here's the sign. These are dangerous people, because a depressed person, a person that isn't in their right mind, can be convinced into doing anything, including killing themselves. Now, how did we get here? Elder Lawyer, let's go real quick to Joshua 23 and 11. Write down these precepts. Oh, well, y'all are y'all in for something this Sabbath? Man, I'm glad you're here. I am so blessed. I'm glad you're here. Let's read it.
Joshua 23, verse 11. Take good heed, therefore, unto yourselves.
Now, this is us going into the promised land, led through Joshua. Okay? Led by Joshua. It says, take heed to yourselves. Speaking of the children of Israel, God's chosen people, who we are. Okay? It's not a conspiracy theorist. We're not Negro. We're not black. We're not African American. We're not Haitian. We're not African. Our name, according to God, are the children of Israel. That's who we are. Genetically and spiritually. Okay, not just through the spirit in believing in Christ. No. We are the physical people who received the law, statutes, and commandments on Mount Sinai. That's us. We're the children of Israel in exile. So the Most High told Joshua, be careful. Let them know to be careful, because with this land comes a responsibility to uphold themselves, uphold your people as chosen people, as holy people. Read.
Take good heed, therefore, unto yourselves, that ye love the Lord your God. Else, if ye do in any wise go back and cleave unto the remnant of these nations, even these that remain among you, and shall make marriages with them, and go in unto them, and they to you, know for a certainty that the Lord your God will no more drive out any of these nations from before you.
Come on.
But they shall be snares and traps unto you.
They shall be what?
They shall be snares and traps unto you.
These people, these foreign nations, will bring in their other gods, and by so, they will become what?
Snares and traps unto you.
They will become snares and traps unto you. Read.
And scourges in your side.
And scourges in your side. They'll be used by the enemy to keep you down, to attack you. Read.
And thorns in your eyes.
And thorns in your eyes. They will do what? They'll make it where you cannot see. Thorns in your eyes. You trying to pull stuff over your eyes, not realizing, guess what? You've lost your way because the people you chose to cleave to have blocked your sight. What sight? That sight between you and the God who made you. The God who sent you here for his purpose. People shouldn't block that. People weren't meant to block that. See? There'll be thorns in your eyes when now you're trying to pull these stuff out of your eyes and try to see straight, not realizing it's the person next to you that you chose. Read.
Until ye perish from off this good land.
Come on.
Which the Lord your God have given you.
Which the Lord thy God has given you. Your choices will make it where you'll be linked to a trap, a snare that can deviate us from our purpose. And then if that happens, what happens? You know it. I'll tell you right now. The Most High says you're off the land. I'm moving you far from me, from my sight, my land. See? Speaking of stupor, Elder Lawyer, let's now go to Isaiah 29 and 9.
Isaiah chapter 29, verse 9.
It says a stupor, right? Someone walking in an unconscious state, right? Read it.
Isaiah 29, verse 9. Stay yourselves and wonder.
Stay yourselves and wonder. Read.
Cry ye out and cry. They are drunken, but not with wine.
They are drunken. Speaking of our people. So this is the sign the Most High said we need to look for. Right? A stupor. Someone comatose. Someone, people walking around seem as they normal conversating. Yeah, I got my life together. But really, they are drunken. They're unconscious. That's the sign when you see the majority of people have become so. I remember a time, folks, traditionally, where wholesome, moral people with values can actually point out vanity immediately because it wasn't the norm amongst us. If you seen a woman walking down with a tight skirt up and a pair of heels and with a wig on and walking around, we understood that she was a streetwalker. And we could immediately point that out because it wasn't the norm. Right? We could point out the guy on the block who the majority of us would come together as a family after going to church and say, you know, he's going to end up in jail. They were the outliers. They were the exception to the rule. They weren't the rule. The rule was Sunday, we get up, we put on suits, the whole block looking nice, everyone taking care of our neighborhoods. That was the norm to the degree where we can point out the thug and say, you know what? We know where he's going to end up at because guess what? It wasn't the norm. It wasn't the culture. See? Now there's been a reversal. Where now the harlot and the thug has become the example. Totally threw things out of course. And the Most High was like, hey, when that becomes a norm, understand we're under a stupor. The majority of the population has been convinced to follow Satan. They're insane just like him. They're delusional just like him. See? Read that part again. Come on.
Yes, sir. Isaiah 29, verse 9. Stay yourselves and wonder. Cry ye out and cry. They are drunken, but not with wine.
They are drunken, but not with wine.
They stagger,
They stagger, speaking of our people now,
but not with strong drink.
but not with strong drink. The people are walking in a stupor. They are drunk. But you can't tell them anything, because guess what? They believe they got it together. I got an MBA, I got a BA, I'm well educated, I got a good job, but to the Most High, you are in a stupor. You're comatose because you don't understand what time it is. You don't understand that all that stuff you learned, all the credentials and the things you have acquired here will burn with you. You're not taking heed to the signs. See? You're in a stupor. And we're going to give you the what? We're going to give you the fundamental core or root of that stupor today. Wisdom, let me tell you, the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. It tell you that in the Bible. Because it can put you in a state of delusion to make you believe you're a God. That you're the one that should be admired. Okay? Let's read it. Come on.
Verse 10. For the Lord hath poured out upon you the...
Yeah. I'm a PhD. Read.
For the Lord hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep.
The what?
The spirit of deep sleep.
Why? Now, why would God do that? Now, the whole time is when someone tries to awaken you, when they try to wake you out of your coma, there's an immediate defense mechanism that kicks in where you'll immediately fight against that person. Well, guess what, folks? The person that's fighting against the others, that's not the person. It's the demon they have accepted. And that's why Christ said, we wrestle not with flesh and blood. He also said, cast your pearls not to swine, lest they wrench you under feet. You're not battling the person. Once they accept the stupor and the demon, that's who you're battling against. If they want to be asleep, leave them sleep. Because I'm going to show you what's coming. People that make these choices out there, let them make their choices. They're actually helping you. They're showing you who you should avoid. Okay? Because that demon in them will come to life and will harm many when the next phase of this happens. The demon they've been sheltering, the thing that's been allowing them to sleep and use their body and all that, that's the zombie. Okay? That's what's going to use them. That's what's going to, hey. So we're going to go into that in one moment, but let's go. Come on.
For the Lord hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep.
Come on.
And have closed your eyes.
And have closed your eyes.
The eyes of your rulers.
The eyes of your rulers.
Salakia, and have closed the eyes of your prophets.
Your prophets, which are your preachers. See? So you can't go to them for the answer because they're under a stupor too. See? They're under the stupor. And I'm going to show you the root of that stupor. Read.
The prophets and your rulers.
The prophets and your rulers.
The seers hath he covered.
The seers have he covered. So now you have the blind leading the blind right now. So when they said that they're going to plan something out for the future that will be aimed towards idiots killing themselves and depopulating themselves. This is what they said, folks. How would they be able to achieve that without these particular people being complicit? What would they use? Let me show you. Look at your screen. Vanity traps set by the enemy. One second. Let's look at it here.
Vanity.
Vanity. That's the root. When they have infected the populations of the earth with enough vanity through imagery, through idolatry, then they would know it would be time in which they can pull the plug and the majority of the population would actually believe them. Vanity. Elder Lawyer, read that definition of vanity for me real quick.
Yes, sir.
If you may.
Yes, sir. Excessive pride in or admiration of one's own appearance or achievement.
Read that again.
Excessive pride in or admiration of one's own appearance or achievements.
Excessive pride in or admiration of one's own appearance or achievements. It flattered his vanity to think that I was in love with him. Now I need y'all to look at some of the words that's connected to vanity, if you will. Conceit, self-conceit, narcissism, self-love. Self-love. And you will have narcissists who would immediately call someone else a narcissist out there. But don't even understand the core root, the core word for narcissism is vanity. They would create a population of nihilists who believe in, if they believe in anything, it's only themselves. Excessive pride and or admiration of one's own appearance or achievements. Man, it was slick how they did this, because we didn't know that we were actually, believe it or not, catching a spiritual disease. It was this disease first. This was the pandemic. Us receiving the spirit of vanity. That was the pandemic initially. Now, some may ask, well, what does the Bible have to say? Vanity, traps set by the enemy. Right? Elder Lawyer.
Yes, sir.
Let's go to Job 31 and 4. This is how they did it. We need to trade in the moral and values that we learned from our parents through the Bible. We need to trade that in for vanity. Take on a spirit now of total selfishness and narcissism. And through that, you're disconnected to a degree where the signs concerning Christ's coming is here, but yet you're caught up in the mirror. And I noticed, I'm going to tell you folks, I noticed so many times that every time we push back against all of that, this is when, no matter what we talked about, when we hit that vanity spirit, that's when we as a church would receive the most pushback. We can talk about anything else, but when the Most High is pulling in and trying to snatch that spirit out that would allow us to see and not have those thorns over our eyes, that's when the cat fights happen. That's when people are, oh no, it's not me. Or what about this and what about that? And people try to duck and hide, trying to hide that spirit. Look at your screen real quick. Huh? Oh, yes. I really appreciate it. Huh? Oh, yeah. Yeah. She'll tell you. All right. Check with her, okay? All right, one moment. Let's get it now. I need you all to look at your screen real quick. Real quick. Let me move that to the side. And let's start, since we're talking about the word vanity. Vanity Fair. Vanity Fair. The image. The image, folks. The image that they would sell the population who would receive the demon. And you notice where the Most High warned Israel about dealing with strange women. Especially women who are outright connected to gypsies. Okay? When really, the whole fashion thing wasn't for Kanye. It was to use his image to catapult the image of her. Vanity. So that they would make a lifestyle through Instagram, Snapchat, and all that, where now they would make an idol, an image, a goddess to be copied by the population. Where people would believe it or not, they would believe all women are measured. And if you're not that, you're coming up short. When this happened, a black successful man connected with that was the image to have us believe and our sisters believe this is what brothers want. When this started happening, living with the Kardashians, the next thing you know, women with behinds started getting behinds. Injections. Lip injections, who had lips. The image of vanity began to seep in. See, and all of this is connected, folks. They had to instill the spirit of vanity first. Vanity Fair. Hot Mama. It was instilling an image. Vanity Fair. This is what you aspire to be. This is what you want. This is what men want. Men don't want this. And men been saying for years, they do not want this. Vanity Fair, Hot Mama. So now, eventually, here we go. From Vanity Fair to what? Vogue. All right, it's not complete without the Vogue. Lizzo. If this is not delusion, I don't know what is. The woman with the red dress. If this is not delusion, I don't know what is. Where now people would make themselves their own idols at the most inopportune time. At the same time, the Most High was doing what? Sealing his people. Satan began to promote an image that would do what? Turn the people away from God to idolize themselves. Vanity Fair. Vanity is the root of the stupor, which makes it now that people are totally delusional, depressed, out of their minds in preparation for the mark of the beast. Right? Elder Lawyer.
Yes, sir.
Let's get Job 31 and 4.
The book of Job, chapter 31, verse 4.
4 and 5. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Matter of fact, read it all the way through.
Yes, sir. Doeth he not see my ways and count all my steps?
The Most High says, do you not see my ways and count all my steps? And why is it framed like that? That mankind, do you see my ways and count all my steps? Everything, my plan for you, for my kingdom? Or do you make plans strictly for yourself? Do you make plans without including the fact that I'm watching? Read that again.
Doeth he not see my ways and count all my steps?
You don't see my ways is what God is asking. And see what I'm doing? Read.
If I have walked with vanity,
If I have walked with vanity,
or if my foot have hasted to deceit,
if my feet have hasted to deceit,
let me be weighed even in an even balance, that God may know mine integrity.
let me be weighed in an even balance so that God would know my integrity. Let me be weighed in an even balance so that God would know that I'm sincere. If I claim I'm down with God, but it's operating in the image of vanity, I'm deceiving myself. I'm deceiving myself. And guess what? If you can deceive yourself, it's nothing for the enemy to deceive you, because it started with you. If you can deceive yourself, guess what? It's easy work for the enemy. And that's the point. You got to weigh in the balance the steps of the Most High, because we can lie to each other to why we do things. Because the majority of people are not going to say, well, I'm doing this and I want to do it because I'm vain. You'll never hear people say that. But that's the core reason. People do what they do, but they won't say it. They come off as God and spiritual and all that, but when you look at them, it's saying something else. No, you have to weigh it in the balance and know, no, you can't serve two masters. You can't say you down with the Most High, but walk in vanity. You have already deceived yourself. And that's why I put up those images. Because we didn't walk in the ways of the Most High. We started walking in the way of the thugs and the cats on the corner that that was going to jail. And allow them to do what? Make that an example of who we are. We have allowed that evil and wicked image. We have allowed this. We have allowed this and all this to become the examples of what we should aspire to on the outside. We didn't walk in the path of the Most High. We're not walking in the path of the Most High. Look at this. Because these images is what we're following. And the majority of the people that have taken on this image are miserable and lost on the inside. So if they're miserable and are lost on the inside and are depressed, how much more are the people who don't even have what these people have, trying to obtain that image? And that's why even Job says, I have to weigh this in the balance. My steps with God's plan. So when I make some type of what you would call resolutions for myself concerning my future, it's my walk with the Most High first. Tell her, where's that? It's my walk with the Most High first. Right? Okay. One moment here. 1 second. Part 2 coming up. Part 2. Hold tight. Stick with me. The Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding Him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy, you're invited. Read that verse again, Elder Lawyer. Chapter and verse.
Yes, sir. The book of Job, chapter 31, verse number 4.
And I remember growing up, I'm going to tell you, Disney really instilled this spirit of vanity, man. Disney instilled this spirit of vanity, more so aimed towards women. Because why? Because they know that they are the more emotional of the two. That when a young girl sees Cinderella, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Sleeping Beauty, that a young girl vicariously lived through that character. It's not you looking at an outside character and saying, well, no, that's just a character. No, you're Snow White and you're living through her fears, her longing for the Prince Charming. This is what the wicked Disney did. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of us all? Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of us all? And boy, oh boy, that wicked witch who didn't compare to the good-looking one, that wicked witch who thought she was the fairest because she didn't look as good as the best beauty, but aspired to be what that beauty was. Right? Would now do what? Do everything to attack the beauty. Or if you can't, you must aspire and change yourself into that, because it became about what? Only what's in the mirror. See, this is what Disney did, folks. So that later they can sell you an image. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of us all? And you'll look in that mirror and be the TV or your internet or your phone and be like, yo, when I look at myself in the mirror, I'm not that. I must be the wicked witch. I must be ugly. See? And then on the other side, the men. Simple as the days old. Sitting there with a stack of ones with 100 on top of it, as if they got, and then put a bank wrap around it with a money phone on their ear, as if they're talking to somebody. You talk about a stupor, some idiots. Yeah, I'm all about the cheddar, man. I'm all about the cheddar, man. You see what they doing to us? Real people with money don't put it up next to their ears. That means you're not used to having money. See? It's all about the cheddar, man. Sitting there, teeth in their mouth and all that. And then you have to understand, who are you going to get the teeth in your mouth? And see if they have the money up to their ears. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of us all? Vanity. It feeds a spirit to make people think they're less than. Oh yeah, a Cinderella. It's the person that's always been rejected, the stepdaughter. Now who were they aiming that towards? And for one day, she can be the beautiful of all until her life turns into a pumpkin. To realize, guess what? It was delusional. And everybody's living vicariously through these characters, not realizing you grow up with that same imagery, with that same stupor in your mind, that same spirit of vanity, and now, but it's being transferred into real life now, with these unrealistic expectations, which leads to depression. Let's go, the lawyer.
Doth he not see my ways and count all my steps?
Come on.
If I have walked with vanity, or if my foot have hastened to the seat, let me be weighed in an even balance, that God may know mine integrity.
Let me be weighed in an even balance. That means I need an anchor. I need to know when I'm moving into the spirit of vanity so I can push myself back on the proper path. But it's hard to do that in a society that's telling you the Bible's tampered with. You shouldn't read the Bible. The Bible's bad, but everything else you want to do is good. They're making it where people can't find their way in and weigh in their vanity. People don't even know how far, shalom, elder. People don't even know how far we've strayed off the path. And guess what, folks? And I'll be walking around and I'll be seeing some of these people out here, and I'm like, yo, do people understand how crazy they be looking? It's like a demon done took over their whole body. They walking around totally confident, looking crazy. And that's what happens when you get that spirit of deceit and you think, oh, I got it going on. Nah, it's bad. It's like the spirit is wearing your body like a costume. And I'm talking about all around about men. I'm looking at young men. It's like, yo, I mean, where is the distinguished man? Where's the young men that are looking to look distinguished? A nice pair of shoes, your shoes shine. Looking, where is that? You got grown men who don't want to grow up, still got fitty hats and all that, 50 and 60 years old. Looking totally crazy. Listen, dude, that was 30 years ago, dude. When are we going to show, an example of us being distinguished so that the young men can understand it's okay to grow older and be distinguished? So the young men can know that there's nothing wrong with growing older. That's an honor. They don't know how crazy they look. I seen a cat walking around. He had a kid and play box joint the other day. I'm like, yo. He had to be like 60 years old with a box cut. And he was sitting there, It's called arrested development, a stupor, mental illness. But we're breaking through all that. Usually the people that are going to fall for all this are the people we are highlighting and talking about today. Let's read it. Come on.
Verse 7. If my step have turned out of the way, and mine heart have walked after mine eyes, and if any blot have cleaved to my hands, then let me sow, and another eat. Yea, let my offspring be rooted out.
He says, if I have fell to vanity, let my offspring be rooted out. See what he said here? Knowing that if you follow vanity, through vanity, you lose culture, tradition, and values. That means there is no future for our children if we choose vanity. That's the selfishness, where we'll choose ourselves over our progeny, over our legacy. Read.
Verse 9. If mine heart have been deceived by a woman, or
if my heart have been deceived by a what?
If my heart have been deceived by a woman.
If my heart have been deceived by a woman.
Or if I have laid wait at my neighbor's door.
If I've laid wait at my neighbor's door.
Then let my wife grind unto another, and let others bow down upon her.
May she get the glory that a man should receive. See? To let you know that the Most High is not going to dishonor who? The loyal side. He'll give honor to the one who stayed chaste and right with him, regardless of what another person is doing. That means you're not going to lower your standards with the Most High because the person you trusted wasn't right. You're going to stand with the Most High regardless. You're not going to stoop to that level and use that as an excuse to become dirty. See? Because this is your walk with the Most High, regardless of who you are attached to. You're not going to soil yourself and your image with the Most High. You're sealed with the Most High because of an individual who chose to do what they wanted to do. And so many times we hear this, well, I did this because this person did that. Well, you know what? That means the devil won. We were supposed to fight for the integrity for legacy, regardless of mistakes. We were supposed to fight. And see, I don't want to digress into that. But I need y'all to check out, one of Satan's sons, Bill Gates and Melinda Gates. Check that out. Who knows? They've probably been apart the majority of the time. But they had to stay together to continue the plan until the plan was finished. Now that there's a PR campaign against him where he's not influential anymore, they say, okay, take your land. We already said you were a billionaire, but that was just front money to make you believe you was something. You did your part. Your wife get that part. They get that part and go on with your lives. It's time for Elon Musk to step in because we're in the next phase. But they were able to stay together all the way to do what? To fulfill their mission into making sure that under their foundation, this campaign is in every African and every poor area in the world. That was their plan. Okay. But guess what? The image was, you think that they just broke up? But they understand the legacy under Esau. They are playing under Satan. That they needed to keep this thing together as long as they can to hatch their plan against us. Because they understood what legacy meant. Even evil people. But the first time something go wrong, or the first time someone rub us the wrong way, we give up on each other. Sacrificing our legacy for what? For vanity. for how I feel, because how dare someone offend me? Come on, let's go.
Verse 11. For this is an heinous crime.
For this is an heinous crime. Read.
Yea, it is an iniquity to be punished by the judges. For it is a fire that consumeth to destruction, and would root out all mine increase. If I despise the cause of my manservant or of my maidservant when they contended with me.
So that means even someone who's a subordinate with you. We must respect one another, even if they're your subordinate. Okay? Read.
What then shall I do when God riseth up?
What shall I do when God riseth up?
And when he visiteth me, what shall I answer him?
Exactly. So you treat somebody a certain type of way as if they're beneath you because you have more. Guess what? The Most High sends a judgment on that. He sends a judgment against those like that. I heard that girl, Ellen DeGenerate. She was giving people all types of hell on her show. As soon as the camera went off, she was cursing people. She was one of the, and this is what her people on her team said. That they were being treated like dirt by her. But when the camera came on, oh yeah. But really she was there to push what? Vanity. She was there to actually, you got it, groom a whole population of certain people against us for this particular time. She was a key component in that stupor, in destroying our people. A key component in it. Because why? No one gets to any place without other people. And there's no people that are really under you. We're all children of the Almighty. And we should treat people as such, even if they're not on your pay scale. See? And this is what the Most High, this is what Job is saying. I understand to take care of a servant. Because one day, hey, when you look at the prophecies, the Most High knew one day we would be servants. And how do we want treatment? What treatment we wanted under servitude? He knew one day we would be a servant. So we have to be careful how we treat other people, even if they don't have much that's working for us, or you know, that's why, let me tell you, I'm respectful to everyone. Because I understand that they're children of the Almighty. They have a walk with the Most High, and the Most High is looking. And I'm going to go into that in one moment. Mm-hmm. But go ahead, read it.
Verse 15. Did not he that made one or made me in the womb make him?
Exactly. The same God that made me made a poor man. Mm-hmm. Or someone that's working for you, or whatever the case is. Read.
And did not one fashion us in the womb? If I've withheld the poor from their desire, or have caused the eyes of the widow to fail.
And I'm saying this is because we have a culture that feels it's okay to down each other publicly based on what we're lacking. As if we all didn't come from substandard neighborhoods. We got now a scenario where someone can look down on the guy and say, you know what? Your pay grade isn't satisfactory for me. You don't meet my standard. Knowing that the majority of our people come from what? Substandard living, and have to work our way up from being poor. You think the Most High don't see that? We're the only people who can bust on each other and come at each other and all that and do the dozens on each other based on what someone doesn't have, as if we're not from the same place. You don't got this and you don't got that, and be online saying, telling people and all that. And the Most High is looking like, what? That doesn't speak to his deficiency. That speaks to your deficiency if he don't have anything. Because if you got it, why you not helping him? That doesn't speak to his deficiency or her deficiency. That speaks to your deficiency. You're going to speak down on them because they don't have anything and measure it by you? That sounds like the enemy who measure their power by how poor we are. And I'm putting it out there. That's the spirit of vanity. With a degree where it's one thing to think something. It's another thing to be so vain and now down someone else because they're without. See, and that's that spirit. That's a trap. Because eventually, what goes up comes down. And it's nothing for the Most High to make a man rich overnight. What goes up must come down. And guess what? The same people you are ranking and berating, you're going to expect them to accept you on your way down because that's where you started. You were amongst them. So we're going to bring it all out today. That trap, that vanity that's leading to this delusion we're seeing now. Read.
Yes, sir. Verse number 16. If I have withheld the poor from their desire, or have caused their eye or the eyes of the widow to fail, or have eaten my morsel myself alone, and the fatherless have not eaten thereof. For from my youth he was brought up with me as with a father, and I have guided her from my mother's womb. If I have seen any perish for want of clothing, or any poor without covering, if his loins have not blessed me, and if he were not warmed with the fleece of my sheep, if I have lifted up my hand against the fatherless when I saw my help in the gate, then let mine arm fall from my shoulder blade, and my arm be broken from the bone. For the destruction from God was a terror to me, and by reason of his highness I could not endure. If I have made gold my hope, or have said to find gold, thou art my confidence, if I have rejoiced because my wealth was great, and because my hand had gotten much, if I beheld the sun when it shined, or the moon walking in brightness.
And I'm bringing this out also is because especially, and like I said, it's the radio broadcast Wednesday, I wanted to shout out Kwame Brown because why? You had people who received success on this side under the enemy who thought they can berate a brother who they deemed was a bust. Not respecting anything in him. The fact that he's a son of Judah, a son of the Almighty. How you can get before the enemy and talk about your own brother and be paid to do so without uplifting him. When this bus is doing more for the community and the poor people in his neighborhood than any of you sitting out there because he genuinely care. And the only reason that they were allowed to go after that brother is because they were trying to stop brothers from foregoing college, being used for nothing, and to go straight to the pros. That's why they was using him. The enemy was using him to oppress the rest of our children who seek basketball as a way out financially for their families. Okay? So they didn't realize by attacking him, they were attacking what he stood for. It doesn't matter whether or not he can play basketball or not. It was an opportunity to bring money back to the hood to help his people. At least he's trying to do that. But no, they was used to do what? You got it. To put the genie in the bottle and to do what? That's right. To put the rest of the boys in their place going forward. But they needed a black face to speak against it. So that now they can come with a solution to put blacks and those boys who was willing to write their own ticket back in place. And that's why I shouted the brother out, because I was checking him out and how strategic he was. And you know what? They underestimated him. And this is who the Most High deal with. The Most High always deal with the underdog. The first shall be last and the last shall be first. And when it comes down to it, who's the bust now? Who's the bust now? See, and that's that spirit of vanity where people think they can get on public television and berate their own people and get paid to do so. That day is done. The people are waking up. Let's read.
Yes, sir. Verse number 26. If I beheld the sun when it shined, or the moon walking in brightness, if my heart have been secretly enticed, or my mouth have kissed my hand, this was also an iniquity to be punished by the judge, for I should have denied the God that is above. If I rejoiced at the destruction of him that hated me, or lifted up myself when evil found him, neither have I suffered my mouth to sin by wishing a curse to a soul.
Exactly. That's another thing. There may be someone that hates you and you know that that means ill to you. But you know what? The Most High's watching how you react to that too. Mm-hmm. But you know what? I'm not going to curse the person who's attacking me or saying something against me, because why? Who can judge them better? Something that I would hatch or cook up, or the God who protects me. So when someone is attacking and doing all that, I'm like, you know what? Hey, AHAYAH, let your will be done. You deal with this as you see fit. I'm going to do your will, because guess what? I'm only a servant. And I'm not going to be distracted from what I need to do to react to the enemy. You handle that. Mm-hmm. And then if it's not handled, that's okay too. Because I'm saying, listen, my grace, the grace the Most High has given me to do this work suffice. The things that I've done in the past, okay, and the things, all that, even before I had the truth, the sins I accumulated, guess what? If someone have to attack me to remind me that I'm worthy to be attacked, guess what? His grace suffices. I'll accept it. It comes with the work. Mm-hmm. It comes with it. I'll be attacked, and you know what? And I'm not going to react to it, even if the Most High doesn't stop it. Mm-hmm. Even if he doesn't stop it, because I don't wish a curse on anyone. I'm like, you know what? That's what the Most High, if obviously the Most High have it out there, he'll allow it to happen. So you know what? Hey, let his grace suffice. But I will never curse a person or try to harm a person because of what they're doing against me. Ever. I'll pray for that person. See? Because why? All of our righteousness together is a filthy rags. The Most High have forgiven me for a lot. So it's nothing for me to accept someone out there just talking. I'll deal with it. I'll live with it. But then when I talk, it'll be this. It's not going to be down, and it's going to be uplifting. It's going to bring people back to the path of the Most High, off of the stupor rooted in vanity. That's what you'll find me doing. See? Read.
Just a quick precept on that.
Yeah.
Proverbs 24:17 through 18. Rejoice not when thine enemy falleth, and let not thine heart be glad when he stumbleth. Lest the Lord see it, and it displease him, and he turn away his wrath from him.
Exactly. I can't get caught up into that. You know what time we're in? Elder Lawyer, let's go to Job now. 15 and 31 to 35.
Yes, sir. Job chapter 15, verse number 31.
Come on.
Let not him that is deceived trust in vanity.
Let not one that is deceived trust in vanity. Now, what's going on right now is a great deception for an outcome, because why? It was prophesied that the Most High would send death throughout the earth. You're living under that sign. We're living under this curse. And I'm going to go into that in a moment. The enemy is now able to snatch those who were what? Sold under sin and made themselves an idol without trusting in the Most High. That's what's going on. Read that again.
Let not him that is deceived trust in vanity.
Come on.
For vanity shall be his recompense.
For vanity shall be your recompense. If you live in vain, you reap what you sow. Vanity comes back. And like I put it out there, folks, relationships are relative. When someone, guess what? We always argue about the relationships we get into, but they're reflective. If you vain, you're going to have vanity draw to you. You're going to always have someone to complain about. Because who you are is what you attract. So instead of saying, hold up, it can't be anything wrong with me. So it must be what I keep attracting. That's what it must be. No, but it recompenses. Vanity draws vanity. It's like spirits. It's like the demon of vanity, which is the root in you, connects with the root of vanity in the person you connect with. It's not the Most High that connects you. It's that root that draws the attraction. So when all the ugly that comes out with that demon called vanity, you be like, oh, he's narcissist, or she's narcissist. He's this, he's selfish, he's this and that. All the stuff complain about. Guess what? That was you. That was you. See? Because it recompense, it comes around. Eventually, the Most High will show you who you are in the mirror. Because like spirits attract. You would rather believe it's someone else so that you don't say, you know what? It's something about me that keep attracting what I'm complaining about. Could that spirit be in me? Could I be the reason I keep attracting the same type of person? See? That's vanity coming back around. Come on, let's go.
32. It shall be accomplished before his time, and his branch shall not be green. He shall shake off his unripe grape as the vine, and shall cast off his flower as the olive.
Come on.
For the congregation of hypocrites shall be desolate.
For the congregation of hypocrites shall be desolate, because that's what it is. When one receives and walks in the spirit of vanity, they walk in the spirit of hypocrisy. See? That's what it is. And it become what? Read it again.
For the congregation of the hypocrites shall be desolate.
The congregation of the hypocrites shall be desolate. They will be no more. These are the people the Most High is going to get rid of. Read.
And fire shall consume the tabernacles of bribery.
And what?
And fire shall consume the tabernacles of bribery.
And fire shall consume the tabernacles of bribery. See? Hey, I tell you what. You want to get into the $1 million lottery? Go down and take this and we'll put you up in the lottery. Bribery. If you do this, we'll give you that. We'll give you that to do this. You can only bribe those who are under deceit, who's off the path, who's rooted in vanity. Why? Because you are appealing to something in them, their desires, something they want. Temptation. Adam and Eve in the garden. See? They are appealing to your vanity. Hey, lottery, you want to take the lottery? Oh, you come over here, we'll give you this free. You want free Uber rides? What you want? But those whose eyes are wide open realizes that no one have ever received anything in a capitalistic society that wasn't for a cost. We're living under capitalism. No one ever gives you something for nothing. So when someone says, oh, a stimulus check, you think, oh, that's free money. No, it isn't. The trade-off is that you get a chance to sit on your behind while someone else take a job that you'll never be able to go back to. And on top of that, the fine line means the money came through the federal bureau, which means at any time we can look at your tax return and say, well, okay, you're not receiving that. We really gave you an advance on your income tax. Exact. Nothing is for free. It's bribery. People run around thinking that they can get free checks. The government's like, go ahead, take them. Go ahead, take them. We're just doing this so that y'all don't go off, so that you can have enough money just to survive or whatever the case is. But long term, guess what? Nothing is for free. This will cost you down the line. See? Bribery, what?
For the congregation of hypocrites shall be desolate, and the fire shall consume the tabernacles of bribery. They conceive mischief and bring forth vanity.
And this is what the powers that be does. They conceive mischief and bring forth vanity, like what we showed you, that quote. I'm going to show you that quote in one moment. I need y'all to hold one more again, and we're going to come up with part two. Hold tight, all right? Give me 1 second. We're going to show you what they've contrived. One moment. The Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding Him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy. You're invited. Okay, jumping right in. Let me go back to here real quick. Let me go back to here, where it was read. Let me read it again. Atali verbatim. Here from a 1981 book by Bilderberger Jacques Attali is an example of the elite's mindset. Quote, the future will be about finding a way to reduce the population, of course. We will not be able to execute people or build camps. We get rid of them by making them believe it is for their own good. We will find or cause something, a pandemic targeting certain people. Hold up. A pandemic targeting certain people. We'll let you figure out who those are. A real economic crisis or not. A virus affecting the old or the elderly. It doesn't matter. The weak and the fearful will succumb to it. The stupid will believe in it and ask to be treated. A treatment that will be the solution. The selection of idiots will therefore be done by itself. They will go to the slaughterhouse alone. Slaughterhouse? You mean like cattle? Oh, that's why they say that people, they must obtain a herd immunity. Herd denotes cattle. Pick up that last verse that I wanted to put it out there because this is what Job is talking about here. That last verse you left off at, Elder Lawyer. What verse?
Yes, sir. Job 15:35. They conceive mischief, they bring forth vanity.
And this is what the devil does. They conceive mischief and does what?
And bring forth vanity.
And bring forth vanity. So they must first instill vanity in the targeted population. Right? Make everyone believe that they're their own idol and distract them and cut them off from the signs of heaven. God himself. By having them do what? Focus on the spirit of vanity, which is narcissism, selfishness, all of that. And focus more so on the outward appearance, but inside, it tell you you're comatose. Inside, you are actually depressed and void of any useful spirit because why? You've chose vanity over the Spirit of God. So this is what the enemy does. In order to deceive you, he must instill the root of vanity first that disconnects us from our spiritual guidance, that disconnect us from our God. Read that again, Elder Lawyer, once more.
Yes, sir. Job 15:35. They conceive mischief and bring forth vanity, and their belly prepareth deceit.
And their belly prepareth deceit. How do we get the whole population to go along with this? Now that they're totally distracted, let's hatch forth the event, the stupor. The earth have never been more prepared to receive their own death than now. No one is seeking the God who made us. Everyone is into their own selfish lives, not willing to sacrifice for their legacy. The people have walked away from their values and traditions only to serve themselves. Now let's move the agenda now. Because the people are disconnected. Yeah, they are disconnected. Yeah, they're serving vanity. This is the image they are aspiring to be, not the image of God. Every girl want to be Kim Kardashian. That's the idol they want to become or feel less than if they're not. See? They believe this is what brothers want. No. Brothers don't want this. This is an image. Where brothers, her husband, what Jay-Z see when none of this, when the makeup and all that is off, is what a man wants. And that must have been good enough for Jay-Z because when he see her, she don't have all this crap on. This is for the image. This was to sell you. To the left, to the left. Everything you own in the box to the left. That was the image. Independent. That was the image. When a man don't want that. Men don't want that at all. Vogue. Here's the image they sold. That it's okay for the world to accept what? Total gluttony and an unhealthy lifestyle. And they sold this as an image that we should be proud of. When what we see here is depression. There's nothing to celebrate here. That's depression. That's unhealthy. But the image was vanity. If we can dress it up and sell it, we'll make them believe it. We can sell them that being unhealthy and 5 minutes away from death and can't even breathe is vogue. Is what our young children and our young girls should aspire to. See? If they can appeal to what? That's right, the vanity that came with Adam and Eve taking that malignant root. They will be like gods. They'll understand everything. It's that same spirit Satan appeals to in every individual. Vanity. Elder Lawyer, let's now get Job 35 and 13, if we will.
Job 35, verse number 13.
Read.
Surely God will not hear vanity, neither will the Almighty regard it.
Read it again.
Surely God will not hear vanity.
Surely God will not hear vanity.
Neither will the Almighty regard it.
Neither will God regard it at all. The Most High doesn't regard the vanity, the spirit of selfishness. Let me pull up that vanity again for you all, for those who missed it. For those who missed the definition of vanity. Let's get it here. Let's get it.
Vanity.
Vanity. It says, excessive pride in or admiration of one's own appearance or achievements. Excessive pride in admiration of one's own appearance or achievements. But then check out the words that vanity is rooted in. Let's get it. Conceit, self-conceit, narcissism, self-love. Let's get some more. Self-admiration, self-regard, self-absorption, egotism, egoism, egomania, pride, haughtiness, arrogance, swagger. How many times this been pushed in our culture? Swagger. Oh yeah, he got swagger. He got the devil in him. Now there's more. Pretension, affectation, braggadocio. Oh yeah, let me put my money phone. Hey, what's up, G? I got my money phone in my teeth. Yeah, I don't know what my breath smell like right now, but guess what? I got a money phone. Braggadocio, vain glory, ostentation, conceit, conceit. So once the world was able, when they seen our people as a culture, from the time that we were standing strong together in the 60s and 70s and the 50s, Martin Luther King, Coretta Scott, right? Malcolm X, Betty Shabazz. Us marching together with clean clothes on, sisters looking modest, they own hair. We all marching together strong, a force to be reckoned with, the whole earth watching. Look to how far we've fallen strictly by following vanity. So once they seen us there where it was no longer about what? Legacy. When it was no longer about family, pride, legacy, they say, okay, let's launch it now. Guess what? They all are individuals. We can pick them off one by one and their family won't know anything to the otherwise because their family don't care really. Everyone is into themselves. Let's pick them off now. We'll just tell them whatever we would like to tell them, and they'll accept it. Because really, they're into themselves anyway. Let's go, Elder Lawyer. Let's go to Psalms 4 and 2. Psalms 4 and 2.
Psalms chapter 4, verse number 2.
Read.
O ye sons of men,
O ye sons of men,
how long will ye turn my glory into shame?
how long? This is Most High's asking our people. How long will we turn his glory into shame? It's like we don't even know what shame is anymore. I mean, I'm like, yo, what's going on? I seen years ago where you had these LBGTs people, these gay, whatever they are, they were financing and leading a campaign called a slut walk. I'm like, what? Is there any shame? I'm like, what? You know, my son showed me something the other day where girls are online bragging about their body count with other men, as if that's a badge of honor. Not realizing there's a lot of things that goes on with a woman's biology. She cannot do the things that a young man can do and not be labeled harlot. That's a double standard. It's not the same. Not to excuse men for doing it or whatever, but guess what? It's looked at differently when a man does something opposed to a woman. Where's the shame anymore? Let's read it again.
Psalms 4, verse number 2. O ye sons of men, how long will ye turn my glory into shame?
Come on.
How long will ye love vanity
How long will you love vanity, read?
and seek after leasing?
And seek after leasing. Now, when you go into that word leasing, let me pull it up here. It's another root word. It goes back to the same thing. It goes back to the same exact thing. Let me get it here in the Greek here. And at Psalms 24 and 4, it says, 4 and 2, yeah, I'm sorry. Psalms 4 and 2, thank you. Okay, here we go. O ye sons of men, how long will you turn my glory into shame? How long will you love vanity and seek after leasing? So this is our trajectory now. Instead of walking in the steps of the Most High, here's our path, right? Leasing. Let's get that leasing. Falsehood. Untruth. And it says right here, figuratively, idle, deceitful, false, leasing, liar, lying. Because if you make yourself an idol to lie to yourself, it's no surprise that the enemy now can deceive you. The deception, like I've mentioned earlier, started with us deceiving ourselves into making ourselves into something that we're not, or believing we were something we were not. So it's called leasing. When we lie to ourselves, the enemy say, listen, there's no better time to push this campaign now. The majority of people in the earth are lying to themselves. So by receiving their lie first, it's nothing for them to receive ours. People aren't truthful anymore. So that means the majority of the earth is complicit. That's why they're going along with it without much pushback, because they can only do, I'm talking about the powers that be, the Satanists, they can only do what the people allows. So there must be a population in the earth who are complicit to all of this. We just can't plan the elite. They planning all this evil. They wicked. They that. Nah. It's not just them. Okay. They are in agreement with you. And you are in agreement with them. See? Let's get it. Psalm 62 and 9.
Psalm 62, verse number 9.
Come on.
Surely men of low degree are vanity.
Men of low degree are vanity. Read.
And men of high degree are a lie.
Are a lie. Read.
To be laid in the balance, they are altogether lighter than vanity.
And to put them in the balance, they're altogether vanity. Vanity, which means without worth. So, what's our worth? It all points back to, it doesn't matter rich or poor. It doesn't matter your status in this world. Are you rich with the Spirit of God? Are you weighed according to His system? How much are you valued by God? See? And that all entails on really whether or not we follow Him and choose Him over a vain world. That's how you should think to be measured. Because I'm going to tell you, Satan has lowered the bar to be accepted in this world. The bar is it's slut level. It's slum level. It's harlot level. Okay? You can easily be accepted here. The bars have been totally lowered to where it doesn't matter what you are accepted. And guess what? I seek, or you should seek, to be valued greater than that. See? We have to understand the line of shame and bring that line back where brothers and sisters and children and others can identify what shame looks like. And there's no way we can identify that with grown people out there living and making it excuses for living in shame. Okay, well, this is why I do this, or this is why I do that. And then the children are looking at it and looking for direction or where the line is and can't get it because the elders are walking in shame without showing the true example of between right and wrong according to God. See? Come on, let's go. Let's read it again.
Yes, sir. Surely men of low degree are vanity, and men of high degree are a lie.
Come on.
To be laid in the balance, they are altogether lighter than vanity.
So all of this doesn't mean nothing with the Most High. And keep in mind, if you're walking with the Most High, understand what modesty, what being shamefaced it is, what's being holy is when it comes to men. 9 times out of 10, folks, you're not accepted in this world. You're not accepted. And when you're like that, usually the Most High brings someone of like mind to you who will value the fact that you're not trying to keep up with everyone else. That's the person that the Most High made for you. But when you're trying to keep up with everyone else and all that, you're down in the muck, choosing from the muck. But when you choose, nah, I'm not keeping up no more. I'm just going to deal with the Most High, be as I am according to the Most High. Be shamefaced, righteous when it comes to how I communicate, and truthful to myself. And usually that's what the Most High sends. If there's shallow, idolatry, mimicking the image of vanity, and we all know what that is, guess what? You got the dirt to choose from. Okay? And I'm mentioning it in the meetings, especially with the elders meetings and the brothers meeting. We talking about that. Like, listen, and even with my own sons, I'm like, listen, Any person out there that's chasing what's out there, you don't want. If a person will lie to themselves, you will have much heartache. Wait. You wait until you do what you got to do and do what's right by the Most High. And you wait until you find a young lady who's happy with herself, who understands the value that she cannot keep up in the muck. Because there's no satisfying that woman. She'll always be keeping up, and she'll take everything you work for to keep up. No. You wait. You build yourself in the Most High. You build yourself, and you do what you're supposed to do mentally. And make sure you aim your life right. You get yourself together with your plans as a man. Okay? And then when you're there, you're not going to settle for what's going on out there. If they want to keep up in the muck, let them choose amongst each other. Okay? No more. Because that means we have to now work and do all these things and go down in the muck to find someone. No. Doesn't work that way anymore. Men be men, protectors and providers like we dropped in the academy last week, and it was a great, profound lesson. And guess what? We're not going down in the muck. Nah, it doesn't work that way. Vanity's down there where people are just trying to keep up with the image on Instagram and all this other stuff and going outside thinking they look normal. Nah, men aren't going for it anymore. And men aren't going to be shamed who's dealing in this word for not accepting vanity. Neither should women accept vanity when it comes to men. Right? Let's go to Psalms 144 and 1. 144 and 11. Let's go.
Book of Psalms 144, verse 11.
Come on.
Rid me and deliver me from the hand of strange children.
Read it again.
Rid me and deliver me from the hand of strange children.
So we're asking the Most High to rid us from what?
From the hand of strange children.
From the hands of strange children. These are the nations the Most High warned us about. He told Joshua, listen, if you start following these people out there, these wicked women and all that, guess what? You're going to be cast into captivity somewhere, in total darkness with no help. So now we're at a point we're asking the Most High, deliver us from this. Deliver us, help us from this. Our forefathers chose wrong, but I'm willing to do what's right to get back what's mine. See? Come on.
Rid me and deliver me from the hand of strange children.
Come on.
Whose mouth speaketh vanity.
Whose mouth speaketh vanity.
And their right hand is a right hand of falsehood.
And their right hand is a right hand of falsehood. We ask the Most High to protect us from that, rid us of that. And you know what? The Most High has answered. Because the first step into getting out of all of this is to do what? Is to be informed. Our people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. We asked the Most High to rid us from this. And you know what he did? He showed us what they was doing before they did it. To prove to you that the Most High answers prayers. He answers those he has sent to do his will, to do his work on earth through his son. We asked them, listen, Lord, just listen, you don't got to do much, but at least give us the insight of what they're doing so that we're in front of it. He said, okay, I got you. Because the enemy isn't forcing none of this, folks. Like the enemy plan showed in the Bilderberg book. That they think people are so stupid, they're going to do it themselves. They're going to trust us and kill themselves. See? Come on.
Verse 12. That our sons may be as plants grown up in their youth.
So that our sons can be plants grown up in their youth to love and know you. To know the true God of Israel. Read.
That our daughters may be as cornerstones, polished after the similitude of a palace.
Now, why does it says the cornerstone? That our daughters will grow up as the cornerstones. Because it's the mother who instills culture, tradition, and values in the generation of children, in the next generation. They're the legacy keepers, the traditional keepers. That's why every other race of people make sure that their women aren't tarnished, that their image isn't tarnished before the world to see. That's why. Not that you got the base of every race. There's no sin common to man. Okay? That means there's all type of wickedness going on in every race. But they make sure that their women's image is portrayed a certain way publicly. They do. And we can't, and if we allow our image and our sister's image to be portrayed a certain type of way, we can't blame the other races for that. We can't blame the other races for that. Okay? What they'll do, and all due respect to this situation right here, this is what they'll do. They'll put her next to the image they want to portray. That's what they'll do. They want to allow this to become the standard for their people. They won't allow that. And that's just a physical image. But every time you look on TV, it'll be everyone looking to save the innocent damsel in distress. And they'll always be that way. Portrayed as what? Dainty. Read it again.
Verse 12, Psalms 144, verse 12. That our sons may be as plants grown up in their youth, that our daughters may be as cornerstones, polished after the similitude of a palace.
Exactly. Cornerstones. Polished after the similitude of a palace, which is a guard against the evil that can come in. Because usually women are the chief cornerstones of a family to instill legacies from the nurturing, from the time she nurtures. She's instilling legacy, tradition, and all that in the children as the children teachers. Teaching the legacy of our fathers as a guard to the enemy. See? While the men is out there warring, taking things down, providing, giving her what she needs to actually build that legacy in the children, protection and all that. She's sitting there with all the ancient stories of our forefathers, instilling the direction in her children. See? Read 11 again.
Verse 11. Rid me and deliver me from the hand of strange children, whose mouth speaketh vanity, and their right hand is a right hand of falsehood.
So the enemy is going to lie, deceive, and look to destroy. But on the other hand, we should react with this. Read.
That our sons may be as plants grown up in their youth, that our daughters may be as cornerstones, polished after the similitude of a palace.
Exactly. That means what? Like a palace. That's right. Royalty. That means our image will be the image of royalty, and will fight with everything in us to destroy how the enemy is portraying us. We will fight against anything within us, starting with our own people, who looks to tarnish the image of God. This is why when you look at so-called the royalty of England, why you think they got that out there with the paparazzi and how they're portrayed in the papers and the news and all that? It's always from a regal standpoint. And that when something negative comes out, they initially spin everything so that they can put everything back in its proper perspective, so that we can understand as an example what royalty is. It's about image. And we have allowed our image to be destroyed far too long, and it's over. And you know what? And we're not going to be ashamed to tell someone when they're destroying our image going forward. One way or the other, male or female. We're the only people that are ashamed and being able to correct ourselves. No more. Now the seal that was placed in those who are now being taken out under the enemy, God is allowing it, that stupor. Let's go to Ezekiel 9, because the Most High said, you know what? The people that are marked with vanity will be marked for death. And what we're seeing right now under the stupor is the Grim Reaper collecting his pay. I don't want to hear anybody else, and I told elders in the church and all that, I don't want to hear nothing about people making decisions outside of the Most High, and then after making the decisions, come to us on why they made those decisions. We're finished with that already. They should have trusted in the Most High. That's not our position. Our decisions is faith. If you're talking about, well, it was my job, it was this. Listen, no one forced you to do anything. You're not going to harm our people. It's not going to be allowed, because that's a dangerous mindset, to be so selfish in the spirit of vanity that you'll do something not realizing how it would affect your family, those you love, and the church who was put here to protect you. The Most High's drawing that line in the sand, isn't he? Because right now, we understand, according to that stupor, a sign that the angels have began to mark. Let's get it. Let's get Ezekiel 9 and 4. Read it.
Ezekiel 9 verse 4. And the Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry, for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof.
These are the people who believe in the Most High, who believe in God, who has always stood against wickedness and injustice, and aren't compromised through vanity, and blinded through the darkness vanity produces. Okay? He says, angels, I need you to go through and set a mark on those who sigh and cry, who see what's going on and realize that our people are under attack. And I need the angels to go set a mark on them, because guess what? This is going to be a protection mark, a hedge for my people. Right? Let's see what that mark is. Hold that, Elder Lawyer. And let's get Ephesians 4 and 30. What did the angel mark the righteous with? I need you to go right back to Ezekiel 9, okay, after that, right?
Yes, sir.
Ephesians 4 and 30. Let's read it.
Ephesians chapter 4, verse number 30.
Come on.
Ephesians 4 and 30.
Read.
And grieve not the Holy Spirit.
And grieve not the Holy Spirit.
And grieve not the Holy Spirit of God.
Of God.
Whereby ye are sealed unto the day of redemption.
You are sealed unto the day of redemption, unto the day Christ returns. So the angels is coming on the earth, and he's setting a mark on those who could see, who's fed up with the evil, the wickedness that's going on, that have infected our people, that have destroyed the earth. And the Most High said, you go seal them with the Holy Spirit, and that will hedge them until the day of redemption. See? Let's go back to Ezekiel 9. Let's go to that mark real quick. Mm-hmm. Hold that, and let's show you the angels in the precepts doing it. Let's go to Revelation 11 and 1.
Revelation 11, verse number 1.
Hold Revelation 11 and 1 and Revelation 7 and 1.
Yes, sir.
Yes. You ready?
7 and 1?
Yeah, go to 11 and 1 first.
Yes, sir.
Go on.
Revelation 11, verse number 1.
Come on.
And there was given me a reed like unto a rod.
So that angel was given a reed like unto a rod to measure. Read.
And the angel stood, saying, Rise up and measure the temple of God.
You measure the temple of God who scattered throughout the earth. My temple is my people. Read.
And the altar, and them that worship therein. But the court which is without the temple, leave out, and measure it not, for it is given unto the Gentiles.
So you are not to measure the Gentiles with this specific seal. The Gentiles make it another way. These are the physical children of Israel that the Most High must mark, who sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the earth. So this mark specifically that it's talking about first is for the physical children of Israel who are suffering oppressions throughout the earth. Hold that and get Revelation 7 and 1.
Revelation chapter 7, verse 1.
Come on.
And after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree.
Come on.
And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God, and he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, Hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads.
And we know that seal is what? The seal of the Holy Spirit. It says, grieve not the Holy Spirit that seals us until the day of redemption. That mark is the Holy Spirit we receive through baptism, through putting off our sins. So when it says those that sigh and cry, these are they who have repented for the evil they have done and is sorry for what's going on in the earth with the same people unrepentant destroying our people. And when you read it, come on, let's read it.
Verse 4. And I heard the number of them which were sealed.
Come on.
And there were sealed 144,000 of all the children of all the tribes of the children of Israel.
And these are all men. And their one seal covers their whole family. Anyone in their house is covered with their seal. Man, woman, and children. The same way when Moses marked his door, the whole house, the death angel passed over. When Lot left out, even though he was the righteous and his children were going off and all that, even his wife, his whole family was taken out because of him. So when people look at that number, it's not like the Jehovah's Witnesses and others claiming that only 144,000 will be saved. These are men that have been awakened. And all of their families are counted under that seal. See? Let's go back now to Ezekiel 9.
Ezekiel 9, verse number 4.
Come on.
And the Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry, for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof.
For all the wickedness that's being done, even the predator spirit that's out killing our people right now. Even though our people are voluntarily doing it, guess what? This is why. I'm going to show you why the people that choose it are moving into the spirit world. Let's read it.
Verse 5. And to the others he said in my hearing, Go ye after him through the city.
Through the city and what?
And smite.
And smite. That's the death angel, folks. Read.
Let not your eye spare, neither have ye pity.
Come on.
Slay utterly old and young.
Old and young, whether it be the elderly first, and then they're going to aim towards the children. Read.
Both maids and little children.
There you go. Doesn't matter if you are a woman or a child. We're seeing this play out under the super real time. Read.
And women.
And what?
And women.
And women. So it doesn't matter. Well, I'm a woman. No, you go too. Especially if you're pushing vanity. If you're pushing Satan's program, here's God's plan. These are the same people that are being used for the campaign. Read it.
Verse number the rest of verse 6.
Come on.
But come not near any man upon whom is the mark,
Come on.
and begin at my sanctuary.
And begin at my people. So the Most High, you see the people the Most High have spared, who made the right choices, is because they're marked with the seal of God. If you serve vanity, guess what, folks? These are the people that are confused concerning these times and will eventually be moved out of the way. Elder Lawyer, solution.
Yes, sir.
Proverb 30:8. Now let's deal with solution. 2 more scriptures, and then we'll probably answer 1 or 2 more questions, and then wish you all Godspeed.
Proverbs 30, verse number 8.
Read.
Remove far from me vanity and lies.
The Most High says, move far from me. We can talk about what the enemy is doing to lie to us, but we're able to be lied to. Why? Because we've made our lives a lie by lying to ourselves. If you're in truth, you'll receive truth, and with that truth, a seal. See? The wages of sin is death. What leads us to sin? Vanity. What's vanity? Our personal desires. Our selfish desires outside of what God intended for us. And that sin leads to death. Right? Come on.
Remove far from me vanity and lies.
And lies.
Give me neither poverty nor riches.
Give me neither poverty or riches. Read.
Feed me with food convenient for me.
Feed me with food convenient for me. Folk, guess what? What we receive in the word of God is worth more than guess what? It's eccentric. Let me tell you, you cannot put a value on it. There's not a number. There's not a price you can put on the wisdom of God, the knowledge that comes from on high, how to navigate and guide us through here. See? Read that whole thing again for me, Elder Lawyer. Solution.
Remove far from me vanity and lies.
Come on.
Lest give me neither poverty nor riches.
Come on.
Feed me with food convenient for me.
Feed me with food that's convenient for me. I'm content with just having food, shelter, and raiment. That's good enough. Read.
Lest I be full and deny thee and say, who is the Lord?
Lest I be so fulfilled in my own life, I can begin to question, who is God? I done made it. See? Let me get that again. Vanity.
Vanity.
Vanity. Excessive pride in or admiration of one's own appearance or achievements. And you'll get so self-absorbed, you'll believe that you are the one to be admired, not the God who made you. And I used to wonder why so many people hold on to certain things when it comes to their outward appearance. They'll never tell you the truth. They'll never tell you the truth. They'll always say, well, this, that, and the other. Oh, well, because of this and that, because, it's a protective way of doing things. It's this, that. Nah. Vanity. It always comes down to competition with someone else. Vanity. It's about competition. When we should be on this side to win the fight against the enemy, knowing our God. Read it again.
And it says here, verse number 8, starting at the top.
Come on.
Remove far from me vanity and lies.
And lies.
Give me neither poverty nor riches.
Give me neither poverty or riches.
Feed me with food convenient for me, lest I be full and deny thee and say,
give me just enough lest I deny you and forget your path, AHAYAH. Read.
And say, who is the Lord?
And be like, who's God? Read.
Or lest I be poor and steal and take the name of my God in vain.
Check that out. Man, sometimes one day I just parked my car, went to Philadelphia. This was a couple of weeks ago, and I was just checking people out. Sometimes I just check. There's people walking down the street looking around to see who's looking at them. I'm like, our people are crazy. Like I went in the house and did all this, and now I'm just gonna walk down the street, and every 5 minutes I'm gonna look around and see if anybody's looking at me. This is when you know it has gone to insane levels. Okay, insane levels. Lest we forget the God, we should be doing what? We should be examining, right? We should be examining whether we should be examining the point of whether God is looking at us. We'll do all that and say, well, then see if someone's looking to garner attention, but not realizing we're being watched. Amos 9:8. Let's read this real quick, Elder Lawyer. We're already being watched. That's why the Bible tells you vanity is nothing. Amos 9:8. Let's read it.
Amos 9, verse 8. Behold, the eyes of the Lord God are upon the sinful kingdom.
The eyes of the Lord God. You are being watched. Read it again.
Behold, the eyes of the Lord God are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth.
And I will destroy it from off the face of the earth. Read.
Saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob.
But he will not utterly destroy all of us. He have hedged those whose eyes are open and who have received the seal of God. But we cannot serve two masters. You can't take on the God of vanity and make that your idol and claim you're following the Most High too. If we're lukewarm, we're spewed out the mouth. You have to make a choice. And it first starts with accepting ourselves as God made us. And stop making ourselves an idol. That's what it comes down to first. So now that we can live in this earth realistically, with realistic expectations, starting with ourselves and what we can expect from others, because now when people interact with us, they're interacting with us, with you, not the image that was created. Now you can get realistic outcomes when it comes to relationships, because now people are accepting us for who God made us. Let's end it in Ephesians. Ephesians 4, start at 17.
Ephesians 4, verse 17. This say I, or this I say, therefore, and testify in the Lord. That
And people talking about the people that are pushing the campaign right now. Yeah, brothers and sisters, y'all don't got to worry about who's pushing it, because soon all these healthcare people that's working in the hospitals are going to be replaced anyway. So that's why I tell you, what you reap, what you sow. Mm-hmm. So these people who are pushing it, they're going to be pushed it and pushed out too. Mm-hmm. I'm going to tell you right now, the East Indians and the Asians will really be the only people, and a few white people sprinkled in, will be the only people you see in hospitals and doctors' offices very soon. So, of course, they're going to use people, because the more effective way is to get somebody convinced to do something is to have someone who looks like you urging one to trust. Usually trust someone more so who looks like you. And again, a lot of these people that are doing it, they don't know any better. They're under the stupor too. Mm-hmm. I don't care what their positions are. Okay. they don't know their head from a hole in the ground. They're just doing a job. They're doing what they're paid to do. So I don't blame them either. But eventually they're going to be replaced.
That's right.
Right? Let's end it out. Ephesians 4:17. Let's go.
Ephesians 4 verse 17. This I say therefore and testify in the Lord.
Come on.
That ye henceforth walk not as other Gentiles walk.
Read it.
In the vanity of their mind.
We cannot walk like the Gentiles walk in the vanity of what?
In the vanity of their mind.
In the vanity of their minds. We don't even understand when we talk about these European standards and all that. Oh, we have to do it because it's a European standard. It ain't if it's that bad, the European standard, why are you following it? When God said what?
This I say therefore and testify in the Lord, that ye henceforth walk not as other Gentiles walk, in the vanity of their mind.
In the vanity of their minds. Now, we can't walk like Gentiles walk. That means like other races of people. Right? And other races of people. We're saying that we don't, we're doing this because it's against because the European standard is what's really making it where we have to do this. Well, God said you're not supposed to walk after the what?
It says, in the vanity, or walk as other Gentiles
as
walk.
Other Gentiles walk.
In the vanity of their mind.
In the vanity of their minds.
Having the understanding darkened.
Having their understanding darkened.
Being alienated from the life of God.
Being alienated from the life of God, which means they're worshiping Satan. So if you know the European standard is actually worshiping Satan, why are we following it? Why are we doing it? Unless there's something in us when we're looking at it and saying, you know what? That's the standard. That's the image I would like to be. That's what I imagine is what men want. And vice versa. Kanye West or anyone else with their fashion, skinny jeans. Okay. Skinny jeans to the point where you listen. Here it is, you all hugged up like this. It's like, listen, that ain't right. You could be made impotent wearing some of these clothes. But you have a guy sitting there, a grown man running around with pants so tight, they only go up to where his underwear starts. And you can't tell me these people aren't crazy? It's a stupor the Bible mentioned. Read it again.
This I say therefore and testify in the Lord, that ye henceforth walk not as other Gentiles walk.
Other Gentiles walk. So now we can't talk about a standard of Gentiles anymore. Because God said that's not his standard. Mm-hmm. So you can't use that as an excuse anymore. We have to be truthful, and now people can admit the reason they're doing it. Vanity. It's not because of Europeans, it's what they want. Men think that selling drugs and wearing tight jeans, showing a butt already and all that outside, not being distinguished, men think that that's what women want. See? That's an image. That's a stupor. But now it's like, we're not going to operate like the Gentiles operate anymore. We're not operating like them. The spirit of thug came from India. It was a demonic, evil, crazy looking demon. Let's read it again.
This I say therefore and testify in the Lord, that ye henceforth walk not as other Gentiles walk.
Come on.
In the vanity of their mind.
Let me put it up again. Like other Gentiles walk. Let me do it again. Not you. Come on. Let's do it again. See? That's no excuse now. Just because she gets surgeries, just because she get her lips done, just because she pucker up like a duck with her Instagram, just because of all of that crap, we're not to do that. We're better than that. And guess what? Men of the Most High, men of the Most High, men who you seek, that would actually appreciate and value you, don't like it. Read it again.
This I say, therefore, and testify
And
in the Lord.
And Kanye West, guess what? Man, that brother caught hell with that choice. He probably will continue to catch hell with that choice. Finish reading.
Walk not as other Gentiles walk, in the vanity of their mind.
Come on.
Having the understanding darkened, being alienated from the life of God.
Being alienated from the life of God by doing what? Following the image of this world. Read.
Through the ignorance that is in them.
That the what?
Through the ignorance that is in them.
Through the ignorance that is in them. See, this is why they don't want you to read this Bible, folks. Read.
Because of the blindness of their heart. Who being past have given themselves over to lasciviousness.
Lasciviousness. That's inordinate sexual behavior. Filthiness. No integrity when it comes to how we operate in this flesh. How believe it or not, it comes down to not having shame. Read.
To work all uncleanness with greediness.
To work all uncleanness with greediness. Greediness breaks a commandment, thou shalt not covet. Greedy, insatiable, nothing is good enough. Read.
Verse 20.
And that's why I named this vanity, trap set by the enemy. I made an example of how a few weeks ago we was looking, and the brother went and got the mail, and I was checking things out and all that. And you see somebody walking down the street looking around and see who's looking at them. Not through paranoia. In hopes of seeing someone who will be attracted to them to trap. Vanity, trap set by the enemy. Read.
But ye have not so learned Christ.
But what?
But ye have not so learned Christ.
But ye have not so learned Christ. Read.
If so be that ye have heard him, and have been taught by him as the truth in Yeshua, that ye put off concerning the former conversation the old man,
Put off the former conversations, the old man.
Which is corrupt.
Which is what?
Corrupt.
Come on.
According to the deceitful lust, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind.
And be renewed in the spirit of your mind. Read.
And that ye put on the new man, which after God is created in righteousness and true holiness.
And that's what being born again mean, folks. We can't say that we're renewed in the spirit on the inward, and we're still looking like the world on the outward. That's a lie. See? The new man is accepting who the Most High made. A new person, where you're being shaped in the Most High's image, in the Holy Spirit image. No longer of this world, and not ashamed to stand in that image. See? Read.
Wherefore, putting away lying, speaking every man truth with his neighbor.
So the lying starts with not lying to ourselves anymore. Lying, read.
Wherefore, putting away lying, speak every man truth with his neighbor.
Speak every man truth with his neighbor. Be honest with one another. And then, when someone is truthful or honest with each other, to be able to accept that truth without getting offended. It's a shame that in order to keep relationships going, we must lie to each other. To keep a relationship, that means you can't tell that the person that you're supposed to care about the truth. That's crazy, isn't it? Well, you can't say that. Why? It's that's mean. That's what people will say. What, truth is mean? You know a world is over when you can only coexist with others if you lie to them. You know the world is over. And it came to the point where they're never going to stop this then. Well, where does it stop? It'll never end. Well, now, guess what? This guy that was born as a guy and still is a guy, guess what? You must now call him a woman. Or he'll come and tear down your store and have the political autonomy and backing to do so. This is what happens when we begin to lie to each other. Then that means the whole thing becomes a lie. All lines are blurred. Therefore, we're living in a world no longer that stands in truth. Read that last piece again, other lawyer.
Verse 25. Wherefore, putting away lying, speaking every man truth with his neighbor, for we are members.
Exactly. Which means, guess what? According to the Most High, and according to the Bible and the simplicity of the Bible, I'm not confused. The Most High made male and female, man and woman. That's it. I don't care what anyone identify with. I'm only identifying with God and his terms. That's it. Because when you start buying into people's lies and the delusion and the images they made of themselves, you can lie to yourself and be under the stupor, which confuse you concerning what's going on prophetically right now. I'm dealing with the simplicity of God, and I'm not letting anyone pull me into their delusions anymore. If you run around looking like something else, I'm going to be like, well, hold up. That's delusional because you're not that person. I'm going to show you what that person looks like. That's that person. That's not you. And you're not pulling me into your delusion. Okay? This is what that race looks like. This is what our race looks like. This is what a man looks like. This is what a female looks like. And I'm not getting pulled into anyone's solutions anymore, and anyone's delusions anymore. Because we begin to lie to ourselves and accept a lie, not realizing what comes with that. See? What comes with that? An earth where the truth no longer exists. That's what comes with that. See? Come on, other lawyer.
Verse 26. Be ye angry and sin not.
Be ye angry, but sin not. That means it's okay to be upset. That's normal. That's human. But when we're provoked or angry, we're not supposed to react in that anger because sin arises. If you are upset, that means it's time to pray and not react to that anger, being provoked. And keeping this within the parameters of truth, sometimes, in most instances, the truth will make someone angry. Because why? Certain things aren't supposed to be pointed out. And if it's pointed out, it's offensive. So when the truth arises and you get angry, guess what? Don't react in an angry fashion. Pray and say, you know what? Let me see what the Most High is trying to correct or help me with here. Let me not render evil for evil. Let me stop protecting the spirit of vanity. Read.
Be ye angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath.
And don't let the sun go down upon your wrath, which means don't sleep on it without settling the issue, without at least conversing or coming to a conclusion, even if you don't converse, right? That I'm not going to allow this spirit to carry over with me tomorrow. See? Don't let the sundown go on your wrath. Don't let Satan now, really begin to instigate that spirit while you're sleeping. And now a seed of evil a bitterness have settled in against your own brother, like what happened between Cain and Abel. See? Don't let that bitterness come into where you hate your brother because why? Or sister because you disagree with them. No. Like, no, what I'm feeling is of the devil. Satan, get behind me. I forgive this person. The Most High, take this bitter heart from me, because I shouldn't feel this way about anyone. This is the spirit of Cain, the spirit of the enemy, and it leads to murder. See? Read.
Neither give place to the devil.
That's why it says neither give place to the devil, because while you're sleeping on it, you're thinking of what? How can I pay this person back? You're thinking of vengeance. See? Christ has no part in the spirit of vengeance when it comes to murder and harming someone because you're harmed. The Most High tell you that, listen, if someone smite your cheek, Christ said, listen, turn the other cheek. Don't render evil for evil. Just because there was a wrong in a person, you shouldn't actually react through anger. Because you do what? You're actually giving substance to that wrong. You're validating that wrong now by reacting to it. See? Read.
Let him that stole steal no more.
Let them that stole steal no more.
But rather let him labor, working with his hands the thing which is good, that he may have to give to him that needeth.
And the Most High, you notice that in this chapter, it breaks down really all the parts of the commandments. Covetous, thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not covet, which is thy neighbor's. Now, I'm still keeping it within the context, even though it's talking about physical stealing and all these other things. I'm keeping it in the context of the lesson when it comes to vanity. Let's not try to be or try to take what belongs to other people. If this is how they look, let them have that. Be content with how the Most High made us, and not covet what belongs to someone else. Let's be content. Let's be content and grateful for what the Most High have given us. Every individual the Most High have shaped and made in this earth has a unique quality that God loves. Or he would have made us all the same. See? He would have made us all the same. So it's time for us to actually value, and when we get up and say, you know what, how you made me the Most High, if it's not good enough for this world, then guess what? No one deserves me. Them people, whoever don't understand what you see in me, guess what? And I think that's the Most High's, it's a built-in vetting system so that we don't make mistakes in choosing the wrong people. That's a built-in vetting system. If I can be the way the Most High made me and people accept me, guess what? These are the people that should be in my circle. Not because I'm following the image that this world portrays. Right? Where are you, lawyer? Come on.
Verse number 29.
Come on.
Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth.
Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth. And folks, I'm hearing how brothers are talking, but man, I'm hearing how sisters are talking too. Yeah, bro, I'll tell you this, bro. Hey, they're like, I'm like, what? Yeah, son. Yeah, this, that, and the other. I'm like, yo, it's over. I remember, hey, I went into it more in the academy, but it's over, folks. Finish reading, come on.
But that which is good to the use of edifying.
So we communicate with the use of edifying, not downing others, not disrespecting others. Okay? We edify. That means we bring clarity in our conversation when it comes to communicating and not talking backwards and around to deceive. And Christ even said it. In communication, let your yea be yea or your nay be nay. Let's get that real quick. Because now you must understand, before I answer a few questions, now you have to understand, folks, to be able to point out when someone is deceiving you. This is how you can point out and know someone is deceiving you, right? Let's go to Matthew, Elder Lawyer. Let's go to Matthew 5:37.
St. Matthew chapter 5, verse number 37.
And this is Christ. See, it's not about living a lie. You'll know if someone has an evil spirit of vanity in them when they can't talk straight. They're covering something. When you ask a direct question and they know what you're saying, but purposely start talking about something else, deceiver, deflector. And be like, nah, we're not moving this conversation until you answer the question. Because by answering the question, we'll get to the root of the issue and fix it. See? And to let you know they know what you're saying, they will purposely deflect about something else. So that it's not that they don't understand you. They're ignoring a point that will highlight the wickedness that they're shielding. Let's go to Matthew 5:37. Read that.
St. Matthew chapter 5, verse number 37.
Read.
But let your communication be yea, yea, nay, nay.
Let your communication be yea, yea, or nay, nay. Watch out when you ask someone a direct question, they tend to deflect or try to change the conversation to something else. Yes or no? Let it be what?
But let your communication be yea, yea, nay, nay.
Yes or no? Read.
For whatsoever is more than these cometh...
If you try to operate outside of getting to the root issue, because yes or no gives you the root issue right there that we can actually now discuss. Now that I know definitively that you said yes to this, now we can tackle that spirit. You said no to that. Okay, now I understand the parameter from which we can now come to solution. But if there's no yes or no, there's never a solution. And that's what snakes like. Wiggle room. Snakes love wiggle room. You'd be like, well, brother, yeah, tell me about this. And then they start talking about you. They know what you want. They know the part of the conversation that you're focused on. And they'll start their day with them going over their mother's house. Well, I went to my mother's house. No, brother, I'm asking you. We're at this part of the day. No, I'm gonna get there. I'm getting there. Yeah, my mother told me to bring orange juice and nah. No, but I'm telling you because it's gonna be relevant when I get there. No, I'm asking you about right now. Yes or no? See, that's what I'm talking about. You always cut me off, man. And see, you don't let people explain nothing, That's what I'm talking about. Christ wouldn't be like that. No, Christ says answer yes or no. I don't care about whether or not you went to your mama's house. Stop trying to wiggle away, serpent. So you have to watch this stuff. When you're conversating, you know when you're dealing with deceit, vanity, evil. Because if you don't get to the bottom of it, that spirit will resurface at another time. Let's read it again.
But let your communication be yea, yea,
Yea, yea,
nay, nay,
yes or no.
for whatsoever is more than these cometh of evil.
For if you try to answer outside of yes and no, it's going to be you lying and deceiving. It's Satan there. So you got to watch it, cat, or anyone who would like to give you a whole story outside of what you're talking about. Deceiver. Well, this is how I talk. This is how I communicate. Oh, you're used to lying to people. You used to misdirecting conversations. Not with me. So, hey, folks, we giving you some jewels, some wisdom, some jewels of wisdom to get straight to the point of when you're dealing with a deceiver under this stupor. Right? And you have to watch. Let me tell you, folks, even when it comes to what's going on right now, sometimes what happens is people, they plant the seeds knowing their decision already. But now by planting the seed, they're grooming you to accept the outcome that they've already decided on. Man, that is deceit. Oh yeah, my job was just talking about that thing today, and they talking about, testing, everyone, they're just talking about it right now. And I knew a few people that got the test, and I'm just looking at it. So what are you saying?
my God, my path, show me